Welcome to Factorio Space Exploration stream recap number 57, and I am of course Nilaus. If you for some reason find this to be the very first episode you're watching, that would be extremely unlikely. Anyway, it took a bit of time for me to record this because I've kind of lost my voice and it's slowly coming back, so please bear with me. So what we're having here is our space base. It's progressing. What I'm in the process of doing is actually trimming it down to this size here. So that, because all of this area, we don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to take it out. And that takes a while. And that's why we are totally, completely tanking our updates. But I'm just going to let this run. When we get closer, then it will work. What we've been working on is this section down here. This is the biological science, the last bit, and by far the worst bit. So what my objective is here is that we will do some of the worst parts. It's actually interesting why this one is not here. So first we have to do the biomass, means bioculture, nutrient gel. So we have up here nutrient gel, and bioculture comes from nutrient vats plus these two sections. These two cards or data things. Yeah, let's run up there and find those. So those have been the things that we did in the previous episode just to make things ready. And one of the things we're just noticing is just how awful it absolutely is. Look at this. This is speed 2 and I have upgraded to speed 5, and yet I still need, I don't even know how much this is. This is 23 of those just to get my 690 that I absolutely need. However, we see now this is the next part. We are missing iron ore, so we don't have any iron ore in the base anymore. So here we have our biomass that we built, finally getting that together. The biomass here, bioculture and nutrient gel, it runs on a 100-second cycle for God knows why it would that would be a great idea. Plus it is only stacking to 1, so every time you go pick up things, it blows up because your inventory, because you can only have 1 of each of those in your inventory. These are speed 1 because that makes perfect sense. They will be upgraded because maybe I've been complaining about it, and for absolutely good reason. This is quite clearly not play tested at all. And so we are continuing in desperation, going down here. And this is where we sort of found a little mistake. Biological, that one. So for this one, working our way towards, I think this might be it. Hold on, let me just find it, the one needed. I think this, no, comparative, no. Hold on. Experimental. This one, experimental genetic data, is needed for the bioculture, which is what we have in this giant section we built here. This is needed for experimental biomass. The experimental biomass is needed for a number of things. Funny how that would be something someone would ever make. This one. So I had anticipated that I needed it here because biological mechanical resistance is something I need 6.7 of. So no problem. This one, I also think because this is, no. That's the thing, right? Yeah, I think the issue was that I did not remember that I had to, or in my spreadsheet, I did not add the experimental biomass to this recipe. And this recipe is needed for the significant biomass. And we do need a lot of significant biomass. So that means we not need a lot of experimental biochemical data, and the experimental chemical data needs then suddenly 180 more per minute of the experimental biomass, which means I had to scale up this part by 50%. So I added 2 more rows, and then I started looking into this one, and then I just cried because it's not only this one that has to be scaled up. This one actually pulls things back. That's plus 50% on this one, plus 50% of this, plus 50% of this, plus 50% on this, and plus 50% on this, and plus 50 here. And this one less though, because the way we craft this, we'll also get a lot less of this. So some things need more, some things need less. That means the whole thing I've built is completely wrong. It's kind of the risk of doing it this way, but there's really no other way to do it. And if I just build like one row and then just, I can just expand it. You can't expand this one out like 60 machines out. So luckily, I don't know, luckily, but Earendel has changed the speed of some things. So now all of the recipe, all of the ratios here are completely messed up now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next episode just continuously getting the biological bio. I'm simply going to make these things. And then these things. And simply just go on with it. And actually, what the first thing we need to do is the experimental. But at this point, I don't really care about the experimental because I don't really know how many. Well, we can't do the experimental. We can do this one. We can do the experimental at the ratio if we want. And then we'll just have to figure out if this one runs out. I don't think it's going to be maintained. There will only be 4 episodes left of the series. And then I'm going to let it crash and burn. I'm honestly... I'm tired of this space. I'm tired of the space science. It's really... It's so much of a grind. I love the exploring space, but at this point, because the way the mod works, we are running out of iron. Yes, thank you, iron and steel. I'd love to go out and get that from another location, but I'm just stuck in this grind. So please join me as we grind our way out, get the space science that we need, get the deep space science. We want to achieve this. Then we want to see our spaceship fly. That means we need this one plus that one. And we want to hit the plague on Novice to crash the server and kill the biters. That's the plan. And then we'll be starting a new series. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll be watching the next couple of episodes. There are only 4 left, so we'll be having a good time there, trying to figure out how to... Oh, you know what? I can actually take way more out this one. And I'm just going to continue doing this. Removing this. This is going to be a bit of a drag in terms of updates. But that can be done sort of between sessions. Boom, we killed the update. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Oh, you can see we're also out of concrete, so we're not getting any more science. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, do stay effective.